Activities towards the festive period is unabated, but the thoughts of returning to the long lines of queue for petrol isn't ending. For weeks, Nigerians across the country have had to be faced with their ugly past that was perhaps never envisaged would return. 2 years of the ruling party had given a sigh of relief over fuel crisis, but that is not lasting. From the official pump price of 145 naira, Nigerians succumbed to a cutthroat hike in price of petrol at 200 to 300 naira from filling stations and from black marketers who are having a field day. Officials of the Department of Petroleum Resources move about, shutting down petrol stations selling above the official pump price, while some other stations are shut by their management on claims of no fuel to sell. Lokoja, the Kogi state capital, is not exempted from the vagaries of petrol scarcity biting hard on Nigerians. Roads are less of traffic as most vehicle owners cannot afford the hike in price of petrol. DPR officials compelled the manager of this fuel station to sell the product or face the law.
Buhari?
Yes.
Okay, why are you not selling fuel to the masses?
We don't sell, sir.
Yeah?
This morning, we don't sell.
At what price?
Normal price, 145.
Do you have fuel in your underground tank?
The one where we remain now is Naoga Reserve for Niwa.
For Wuni, where is the paper? Who authorized it?
No,
for you to reserve,
yesterday,
let's better start selling, otherwise you
let me call.
We've been buying for the past weeks. We've been buying 280, 300, and 310, respectively. But since you people are here, we believe things will be put in place and we'll buy at a very good pump price.
Other filling stations get wind of the enforcement by DPR tour and immediately shut down sales for the day. Airing attendants are forced to sell, while others who shut down services are sealed off totally.
This is a temporary hardship. This is a temporary setback. As I'm speaking with you, vessels are discharging petroleum products. And in the question of in some few days to come, these queues will disappear and everybody will buy fuel without any stress.
Thank you.
But DPR will continue to monitor the operations both in daytime and nighttime and ensure that petrol is sold to the public at 145 naira per liter. No hoarding, no diversion. And we observe that some marketers will shut their stations in the daytime and sell in the night at exorbitant price. We are here to checkmate it and stop any marketer from extorting the public. Whether daytime or nighttime, fuel is 145 naira per liter. So that's why we are out doing night surveillance.
The blame game continues between the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and petroleum products marketers, while life gets tougher for citizens whose only source of electricity is their generating sets, which must be powered by petrol.
In most countries, most of the other importers have decided, look, I can't get FX, and NNPC is going to bring it in and take the implicit loss, no problem. I'll just wait and buy from NNPC, which is what everybody started doing. Essentially, NNPC brings in the product using their DSDP program, the Direct Supply, Direct Purchase program, which is really a reverse swap, really. What it does, you bring in the products and then we pay you with crude. So which is why NNPC records that implicit loss that they are taking on the crude oil essentially as under recovery, because if they had sold it at the regular price, they would have gotten a full price. But now they're selling it below cost because the product they're getting back, they're having to sell the product at a price lower than the landing cost for the product if they put all their costs in. So it's really an under recovery. So that under recovery has been growing significantly throughout this year. If you check the figure, we're currently in the hundreds of billions in terms of how much we have taken as an implicit subsidy. And again, if you want to be very thorough about this, think about it. NNPC is discounting that at the official exchange rate of 305. If you are using the market rate, which the typical marketer will get to, you're talking about an implicit FX subsidy as well too, which again is roughly another 50 naira per dollar again on the price that they are taking. So the real subsidy here is quite significant in terms of the real economic subsidy here now. But that also rubs back on the government because again, NNPC pays for whatever it makes back to the federal government account, right?
Yes.
So again, federal government is not directly paying the subsidy. Coming from our crude barrels, which we get from the JV. It's our crude barrels which were meant to be refined locally, which we're swapping for products. So again, we're essentially just, so the crude oil which is being used, which is meant for the domestic market refineries really, is what is being swapped out for products. And we're not getting the full value back, essentially. That's what it means.
The key trigger to this whole crisis was the fear of price increase by NNPC. And we had since debunked that fear, that there is nothing about price increase. We have no plan to increase any price, and there's no increase whatsoever from our end. And therefore, that was the trigger for people who wanted to profiteer, and they started hoarding and diverting the product. What we have done to respond to mitigate the situation for Nigerians, one, we have they've invoked 24-hour operations at our depots. We have also invoked 24-hour sales at our retail outlets. Similarly, the Movement members have also invoked 24-hour sales to try to mitigate the situation. We have also doubled our trucking capacity out of our depots to almost over 1,300 trucks a day. In addition to that, we have collaborated with our sister agencies like DPR, PPRA to monitor and carry out surveillance of people hoarding. And there is a directive to that effect by the DPR director that any station or any depot that hoards product, it should be sold to Nigerians freely without paying for it. And so a combination of these factors has led to what you have seen over the number of stations we have seen.
In Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, most petroleum marketers appear to be hoarding the products and abandoning their filling stations to avoid their acts from DPR and the Oyo State government.
If we see the station and the station says we know. We have this, we have taken.
The state government officials, in collaboration with DPR, have been moving around, monitoring the fuel situation to prevent the daylight extortion of members of the public by petroleum marketers who have been selling between 200 and 280 naira per litre in Oyo State.